Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United consider sacking Solskjaer following player revolts. The pressure has increased on Solskjaer following back-to-back home defeats to Manchester City and Liverpool. Yesterday, Solskjaer flew back home to Norway with his family. So does that stir some suggestions up? It said yesterday that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is expected to be in charge for the game against Watford after the international break. Man United are prepared to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a little bit more time. Manchester United have no plans to replace Solskjaer, despite the defeat to Man City. After the defeat to Man City, Solskjaer did admit that the Man City defeat was a big step backwards, and he also said that Man United were outclassed by Man City. Manchester United have only won one of their last 6 Premier League games. When Manchester United sack Solskjaer, they'll have to pay 7.5 million because in the summer, Solskjaer signed a new contract with the club until 2024. There's an option of a further year, and Manchester United certainly made a mistake giving Solskjaer that contract. A lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. If Solskjaer cared about the club, he would resign. But Solskjaer obviously refused to resign after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool a couple of weeks ago. Solskjaer should have been sacked after that defeat to Liverpool. If we would have sacked him then, I can assure Manchester United would have got Antonio Conte. Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager for almost 3 years. He's been given long enough. This season is his 3rd full season. And I did say at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for Solskjaer. The expectations are far too high for Solskjaer to exceed as Man United manager. Solskjaer has lowered the standards at the club as manager, and Ole is in a position that he shouldn't be in. Of course, all Manchester United fans want Solskjaer to succeed as Man United manager, but obviously he's not going to. Solskjaer has not yet won a trophy as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. The reason Solskjaer's lasted as long as he has done is because he's a legend of the club. Disregarding him being a legend of the club, I can assure he would have been sacked a while ago. And obviously we all adore Solskjaer reflecting on what he's done for the club. But unfortunately, he's not good enough to be Manchester United manager. Solskjaer has no proven pedigree. Before Manchester United, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. Don't forget he endured 2 spells with them. And before then he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was terrible. The reason he got sacked from Cardiff is because he got them relegated. He only enjoyed a short tenure with Cardiff. Solskjaer's decision making is a concern as well, because analysing the vast majority of the games he's managed at Man United, he's been tactically naive. But there again, there has been some games where he's showed tactical flexibility, but he has to do that persistently. Now, in the last 3 games, Solskjaer's gone with that 3-5-2 formation. I think Solskjaer will be reverting back to the 4-2-3-1 against Watford after the international break. Analysing the vast majority of the games Solskjaer's managed at Man United, he's gone with that 4-2-3-1 formation. But Solskjaer ran out of excuses a while ago because Manchester United have got a very good squad. But the problem is, we're not playing as a team. It's a team of individuals, like a lot of pundits have spoke about. You've got the likes of City, Liverpool and Chelsea that all play as a team. That explains why they're in a much better position than Manchester United. Manchester United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year. Made 4 signings. Brought Heaton in on a free, brought Sancho in from Dortmund, brought Varane in from Real Madrid, and we re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. Solskjaer's enjoyed like 5 transfer windows now as permanent Man United manager, and Solskjaer's also received very strong backing by the board. The Glazers have backed him and are still backing him now. Ed Woodward's backed him, John Murtough backed him, and Darren Fletcher backed him. Manchester United should be doing much better than they are. We should be winning the league this season, or at least competing for the league. Manchester United have not won the Premier League since 2013, and Solskjaer did say at the start of this season that his ambition was to win the Premier League. If things carry on like the way they have been, Man United won't even finish in the top 4 this season, and it'd be a disaster if we finished out of the top 4 this season, because obviously Man United won't be in the Champions League next season, and reflecting on that, that would persuade our star players to leave. Solskjaer got appointed in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. In Solskjaer's first 3 months, he was the interim manager. He did very well as the interim manager, so reflecting on that, the club decided to give him the job on a permanent basis back in March 2019. But since Solskjaer has got the job permanently, it has all gone wrong. All he knew when he'd taken over at Manchester United, it was going to be a massive job. And not only a massive job, a difficult job as well, because Ole is managing one of the biggest clubs in the world. Manchester United have spent over £400 million under the Solskjaer era, and Solskjaer has signed around 14 players. I also like the way Solskjaer develops the youth. Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of players since he's come in. He's got rid of players permanently and he's loaned players out. And some progress has been made under Ole, because in his first full season he got us to 3 semi-finals. Last season he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, and last season he got us to the Europa League final, and that was his first major final as Man United manager, but unfortunately we didn't win it. So there you go, and last season he got us a 2nd place finish, and in his first full season he got us a 3rd place finish. When Solskjaer does get sacked, he will be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson. Man United have already sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. Sacked David Moyes, sacked Louis van Gaal, and we sacked Jose Mourinho. And Manchester United are not really known as a sacking football club because we haven't got the structure to keep sacking managers. Now, there's been quite a lot of managers on Manchester United's agenda. Now, not so long ago, I gave you the news on Brendan Rodgers. Caught Offside did say the other day that Brendan Rodgers has verbally agreed to take over as the new Man United manager. But his preference would be to wait until next season. Brendan Rodgers is a far superior manager to Solskjaer. I've got to admire the work that Brendan Rodgers has done at Leicester. You know, Rodgers has transformed Leicester. Leicester haven't been that good though so far this season. But at Leicester, Rodgers has won the Community Shield in the FA Cup and he's been Leicester manager for almost 3 years. He's got a contract with Leicester till 2025. You know, he's managed quite a lot of clubs. Obviously, before Leicester, he was at Celtic. He enjoyed a few years with Celtic and he won a few trophies with them. Before, he managed Liverpool. He didn't win anything at Liverpool, but he did enjoy one good season at Liverpool. When he was at Liverpool, he emulated the football he produced at Swansea. Rodgers was also a good manager when he was at Swansea. A long time ago, Rodgers managed Watford. He's also managed Reading. And a long time ago, he managed Chelsea's youth. You know, if Rodgers was Man United's next manager, do you think he'd get the best out of the players? Do you think he'd get Man United back to that level where they should be at? And would he suit the strappings of the club? Maybe he would. Maybe there's some United fans that want him in, but on the other side of things, there's probably some United fans that don't want him in because he is the former Liverpool manager. Ralph Rangnick has also been mentioned as well. I've been hearing that he could come in as the interim manager until the end of the season. Zinedine Zidane has also been spoken about. Zinedine Zidane is available because he left Real Madrid in the summer. Zinedine Zidane was very, very good when he was Real Madrid manager. He won a lot of trophies at Real Madrid, so reflecting on that, he's got a good pedigree behind him. Zidane has not yet managed in the Premier League, so it would be good for him to come and experience the Premier League. Manchester United have already held talks with Zinedine Zidane. Reports from Spain said the other week that Zidane rejected the Newcastle job as he's waiting for the Man United or France job. But reports from Spain did say earlier on this season that Zidane was not interested in becoming Man United manager if Solskjaer gets sacked because it said he was enjoying life away from football management. Mauricio Pochettino, he's also still being spoken about. Pochettino's PSG's manager. Pochettino is highly rated by Alex Ferguson. We tried to get Pochettino when he was managerless. Pochettino held talks and that with the club. I think Tottenham made a mistake getting rid of Pochettino. Pochettino did a good job at Tottenham despite him not winning anything. He enjoyed a 5.5 year tenure with Tottenham, and analysing the vast majority of his tenure at Tottenham, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top four, but back in 2018, Pochettino guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. Roberto Mancini, he got mentioned the other day as well. And Eric Ten Hag, he's another one that's been spoken about. I think there's a lot of United fans that would take him. You've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. So there you go. But you know what? You know, Manchester United have got some very, very good players. Obviously, we've got Edison Cavani, that's good. Cavani didn't play against Man City because he's out with injury until December. He was out with injury earlier on this season. Cavani didn't start in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta last week, but he did come on. Obviously, Cavani played in the 3-0 win against Tottenham, played very well. He was playing alongside Ronaldo. That was intriguing to see because Cavani and Ronaldo do play well together. Cavani scored a very good goal against Tottenham. It was a lovely chip over Hugo Lloris. He should have scored in the first half against Tottenham. He had a very good headed chance, just went wide. This season is Cavani's second full season at Man United. We did get Cavani on a free transfer. Unfortunately though, I think Cavani's going to be leaving Man United next year. I don't want him to leave though with the impact he's made since he's come in. He's got under a year left on his contract. It was back in May he signed that 1-year contract extension. Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him though. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at PSG. He was also a long-serving player when he was at PSG. Manchester United have also got Marcus Rashford. That's also very, very good as well. I think he's done well in quite a few games since he come back. But on the other side of things, there's been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace. Rashford came on in the game against Man City last weekend and he did alright. He was poor in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta last week. He made an impact when he came on in the 3-0 win against Tottenham because Rashford scored our third goal. It was a lovely breakaway goal by Rashford. Rashford scored in the 3-2 win against Atalanta at Old Trafford. He was very poor in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. His positioning was poor in that game. Couldn't really get any runs in behind and he played an horrendous back pass in that game that could have been costly. And Rashford did well in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester because he did score on his comeback in that game. Rashford was out with a shoulder injury for a while and at one point he had to have an operation on his shoulder. But Rashford has been part of the club for a long time. He's been a United player since the age of 7 and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. Rashford's got a contract with Man United until 2023. A lot of the time Rashford does play on the left wing. We need to keep him on the left wing because that's where he's mostly effective. He's far superior on the left wing to the right wing and up top. You know, we've got Bruno Fernandes. That's also very, very good. Fernandes is one of our best players and he's one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Fernandes starts the vast majority of Man United's games. Yes, Fernandes has been consistent in a lot of games for Man United, but there's also been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace. Fernandes was really poor against Man City last weekend. He looked sloppy, looked lost for ideas, and he gave the ball away numerous times. Fernandes made an impact in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta last week because he got an assist in that game for Ronaldo's first goal. It was a lovely backheel by Fernandes. Fernandes put a good performance out against Tottenham because he played a part in 2 goals in that game. Earlier on this season, Fernandes did say that he wants to stay at Manchester United. But when Fernandes first came to Man United, he said, "I've come to Manchester to win trophies." Last season, Fernandes won Player of the Year and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. We got Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. He's been a United player, Fernandes, for almost 2 years now, and he's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. And we've obviously got Mason Greenwood. He's a talented player. I can assure Greenwood's got a long-term future at Man United. You know, still young, got a lot of development in him. Greenwood did play against Man City. He was playing alongside Ronaldo, but that partnership doesn't work. Greenwood and Ronaldo. Greenwood came on in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta for the injured Rafael Varane, and he made an impact because he got the assist for Ronaldo's second goal. Obviously, Greenwood played no part against Tottenham. Greenwood scored a stunning goal in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester. Greenwood's got, 4 goals in the league so far this season. At one point, though, Greenwood did go a while without scoring. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and last season Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. He deserved the contract, though, reflecting on his good performances. Jadon Sancho, he's also a good player as well. But he's been poor for Manchester United so far. And reflecting on that, fans have been getting on his back. But like I've said before, I think Solskjaer has to take the blame for Sancho's poor performances, because when Solskjaer decides to play Sancho, he persistently plays him out of position. But there's quite a few games that Sancho doesn't even play in, so reflecting on that, does Sancho have a future at Man United? I said Sancho will do well at Man United providing that he's used correctly. It does take some players time to settle in. Sancho did recently come on against Man City, and to his credit, he did make an impact. Sancho endured 4 good years with Borussia Dortmund, and I was hoping that he could replicate that at Man United, but so far he hasn't replicated what he did at Borussia Dortmund. Man United got Sancho in a deal worth 78 million with add-ons included. Sancho's got a contract with Man United till June 2026 as an option of a further year. Donnie Van Der Beek, he's also another good player, but I haven't had much of a perception on Donnie Van Der Beek at Man United because he hasn't been given enough game time. And I said, Solskjaer needs to start Van Der Beek, especially in the Premier League, because he is a good player. I think Van Der Beek's leaving Man United in January. Van Der Beek recently came on against City, and to his credit, he made an impact. And he also came on in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta last week, and he made an impact. Prior to the Liverpool game, Solskjaer made an admission regarding Van Der Beek, saying that Van Der Beek is frustrated and disappointed over his situation at Old Trafford. And earlier on this season, it said that Van Der Beek was furious with Solskjaer. Van Der Beek's endured a difficult, 18.5 months or 19 months at Man United. This season is his second full season. We got Van Der Beek in a deal worth 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. We've also got Paul Pogba. He's a good player. Not only a good player, he's an imperative player. Yesterday, I gave you the latest on Pogba, didn't I? Pogba has suffered a thigh injury in France training. I don't know how severe the injury is. Haven't really looked into it properly. Even if Pogba was fit for Watford, he can't play anyway because Pogba's suspended. He's only got one game now to serve in the Premier League out of the 3-match ban he got. Pogba got sent off for the 2-footed challenge on Naby Keita in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. I think Pogba's leaving Man United on a free next summer anyway, because it's already mentioned that Pogba wants out and Pogba's refused to sign a new contract. Well, Mark Ogden said earlier on this season that Man United are prepared to let Pogba leave on a free transfer next summer after accepting that the midfielder will not sign a contract. It actually said contract talks had been put on hold when it reported that Pogba snubbed Solskjaer after Liverpool defeat, but then obviously Pogba denied it. His current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. He's had a long-running transfer saga. His former club Juventus have been in for him, Real Madrid have been relentlessly linked with him, PSG have been in for him, Barcelona have been in for him. It did say earlier on this season that Pogba was offered to Barcelona, and Inter Milan have been in for him before. You've also got Luke Shaw, that's a good left-back as well. This season though, he hasn't proven how good he can really be, because I think Luke Shaw this season has been absolutely abysmal. Where's the Luke Shaw from last season? Because last season Luke Shaw was absolutely superb. He really, really was. He was far superior last season to how he has been so far this season. Luke Shaw recently played in the 2-0 defeat to Man City, and he was poor in that game. He was the main culprit for Man City's second goal by Bernardo Silva. Luke Shaw came off injured against Man City. Obviously, he had to get replaced by Alex Telles. He is injury prone, Luke Shaw, that is a concern. Earlier on this season he had a minor injury, and he also had illness. Shaw's been our first choice left back for a while, and he still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Telles. Luke Shaw has been at Manchester United for like 7.5 years, so he's been a long-serving player. He's got under 2 years left on his contract. And you've also got Wan-Bissaka, that's a good right back as well overall. He was poor against Man City recently, but it's a shame because in recent weeks I think he's been in scintillating form. He did well in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta, he played well in the 3-0 win against Tottenham. He's had some good games this season, but he's had bad games as well. These aspects of Wan-Bissaka's game that's got to improve. I think he's got to show a lot more attacking intent. His positioning's got to improve. I think his crossing's got to improve a bit more. So there you go. That's what's got to improve. But I think defensively he's always been superb. He is one of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. This season is Wan-Bissaka's third full season at Man United. We got him for 50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. You've got Eric Bailly, that's a good centre half. But Eric Bailly was very, very poor against Man City. Obviously City's first goal came from an own goal by Bailly. But not only the own goal, I think his overall performance was just very, very poor. And I was shocked in that aspect because Bailly played well in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta. He made some good interventions and some good blocks. He also played well against West Ham in the Cup earlier on this season. Bailly doesn't get regular game time, does he? He lost his place in the team a while ago, obviously with the signing of Varane in the summer transfer window, and obviously Solskjaer seems to prefer Lindelof ahead of Eric Bailly. I think Bailly's leaving next year, reflecting on that. His injury prone Bailly, that's me concerned about him. Towards the end of last season, he signed a new contract with Man United till 2024 as an option of a further year. Bailly's been at Man United for like 5.5 years now. We got him from Villarreal back in 2016 for 30 million. brought him in under the Jose Mourinho way. We've obviously got Varane, that's a good centre-half. You know, Varane's done well in quite a few games for Man United, but he's had a couple of games where he's looked off the pace. Varane's not available now anyway. He's out with a hamstring injury for around a month. Varane came off injured in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta last week. Varane only just come back from a groin injury not so long ago. He was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. Varane initially made his return in the game against Tottenham and he put a very good performance out against Tottenham. And Harry Maguire, he can be a good centre-half, but I've got to say he's been very, very poor so far this season. And obviously we've got, you know, De Gea, very, very good goalkeeper. I've got to give him credit, he's done really well so far this season. De Gea saved Manchester United from a humiliation against Man City. I recall De Gea making like 4 good saves in that first half to deny Cancelo twice, De Bruyne and Jesus. Yes, De Gea was partly to blame for Man City's second goal by Bernardo Silva, but obviously Luke Shaw was to blame more. Don't forget De Gea reclaimed the number 1 spot back. And in the summer, it said that he decided to cut short his holiday by 2 weeks to fight for the starting place. And De Gea said he's determined to fight for his Man United future. This season is De Gea's 11th season at Man United, so he's been a long servant. He's been with us since the Ferguson era. He's got under 2 years left on his contract and he receives £375,000 a week. He has won everything domestically at the football club and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. We've also got Dean Henderson, that's a good goalkeeper as well, but he don't get his chances now, does he, because De Gea reclaimed the number 1 spot back. Henderson, I think, wants to go out on loan next year. So there you go, we've got some very good players. There's also inconsistent players, you know. Martial's not good enough, I think he's going next year. Lingard's not good enough. Lingard doesn't really get in the team anyway. Fred's not good enough. McTominay's probably not good enough. Lindelof's not good enough. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.